We're going to begin the press conference by Prime Minister Ishiba. We have opening remarks from the Prime Minister. The floor is yours, Prime Minister. Thank you very much for coming today. Yesterday, the 2025 budget was passed in both lower and upper houses after modification. And I'd like to extend my gratitude to the support and efforts of all the stakeholders. Thank you so much. In the beginning, first off, I want to apologize about the issue around me giving gift vouchers. On the 3rd, before the dinner meeting with 15 lower house members that are elected for the first time in our party, instead of giving gifts, I gave them gift vouchers and delivered to their offices using my pocket money, my personal money. And my intention was that the DITA members have gone through a lot, and then I want to show my sympathy and care to the families that have been supporting the members. And for many years, I've been said that I do not get along with people, that I'm not very generous, and I think I wanted to sort of modify that, but to be honest, the amount of money is not something that can be understood from the general public, by the general public. And with this case, I had received a lot of criticism that don't forget who you are. And I really take this criticism seriously. And I have reflected on myself deeply, and I want to stand with our people and the feelings of our people. And I have regained my determination, and I would like to restore the trust from our people, and I will continue to pull out all my stops to do so. The so-called politics and money issue. Yesterday, we abolished the policy activity expenses and also disclosure of the research and the communication accommodation fee, and return the remainder money. And also, based on the revised Political Fund Control Act, we have realized legal measures toward an early establishment of a third-party organization. And in terms of the political donations by corporations and other organizations, our basic idea is disclosure instead of prohibition. So we have submitted a disclosure enhancement bills to further enhance the transparency and the disclosure, and we've been having sincere discussions. And by the end of March this year, we were aiming to adopt the bills, but we couldn't do so. But among the stakeholders of LDP, Kome Party, and DPFP, yesterday there was an agreement about the political branches that do not submit the online income report. The donations, the corporate donations, cannot be accepted, and also the disclosure amount will be reduced from more than 10 million to 50,000. So this is a fundamental reduction, and we will continue to have sincere discussions with other parties based on this agreement, so that we can have a bill at the end. And there are 3 focus points that for me to confront our people. In the Diet deliberations for the 2025 budget, for the first time in 29 years, there was a modification in the lower house and the first time in the upper house. And this is a historic matter. And for the high medical expense system, it has to be sustainable, and we've been reviewing the system. But we have been criticized that we lack thoroughness in the review process, and we take this very seriously. And by autumn, we will continue to discuss in a careful and a thorough process. After the budget is passed in the lower house, we ended up revising it again, so we did cause a lot of troubles to the legislators. But other than the high medical expense system, there are many discussion points, and we had policy discussion outcomes beyond a specific party, and we also incorporated the deliberation at the Diet. So I think we have the outcome of a mature discussion in the Diet, and we will continue to have such mature discussions and to continue to realize a Diet that can have mature discussions. The 2024 supplementary budget and the fiscal year 2025 budget will be leveraged at the maximum to sincerely improve the living of our people and to bring 3 focus points to life. Number 1, we need to confront the insecurity that our people have, the audit anxiety our people have, and to remove those concerns. Number 2, we want to give people the confidence that tomorrow will be better than today. And we are going to build an environment to enable self-fulfillment of our people. Number 3, we need to develop the society and economy of the country and the local regions, and to care more about local regions by various initiatives. And with those focus points, we are facing declining population across the nation. And we want people from all parts of Japan to take up new challenges in their enjoyable hometowns, and we want them to realize an enjoyable Japan that people want to come back. Our people are feeling various concerns, and we need to face that and to realize a safe and a stable and a secure living. There are people who cannot in full time, and it is the nation's responsibility to enable those people to live with a sense of security. The low level of income is deteriorating the labor shortage in the local economy, and this is something we cannot ignore. So we need to increase the minimum wage, and we are going to put together effective measures by May. We aim to establish the Disaster Management Agency in 2026, and we will host expert panel with experts with the disaster prevention areas, and we will also learn the lessons from the Great East Japan earthquake and the Noto Peninsula earthquake and heavy rains. And in our budget, we are going to expand the personnel and the budget of the Cabinet Office disaster prevention function. So we will increase the personnel from 110 to 220, the budget from 7.3 billion to 14.6 billion. And we are gearing up those preparations. And we need to also fundamentally improve the environment of the evacuation centers. In the East Japan great earthquake, people, there's some evacuation centers where people have to sleep with all the others at the gymnasium. And in the evacuation centers in Ofudado City, where the wildfires occurred, we set up tents where privacy is secured. The environment has been significantly improved. And in the fire in Ofudado, it is also designated as the local specific a severe disaster, a localized disaster of extreme severity, and now we are trying to recover the forest to something before the fire. And in Ehime and Okayama as well, there are wildfires one after another, and we are working on effective fire prevention and fire extinguishing. There was a road cave-in accident in the Yaoshi in Yao City, Saitama Prefecture, and we are conducting a special investigation as a priority from this month. So we have decided to spend 61.1 billion as a contingency fund to address the road cave-in and heavy snows. Not only the sewages, there are aging infrastructure. It is dangerous and it needs renew, and those are the concerns of our people. And we need to implement disaster prevention and disaster alleviation measures to make our country more resilient. And we are going to accelerate our measures, and we are going to make a national resilient interim plan by June with 20 trillion and more over the next 5 years. And also the illegal part-time jobs. And we are also going to strengthen those public security measures to address the illegal part-time jobs. And we are also working on fundamental reinforcement of the defense capabilities. And versus the previous year, the budget will be increased by 749.8 billion yen to 8,474.8 billion. And also the national security cooperation with like-minded countries will be up 3.1 billion from the previous fiscal year to 8.1 billion, and we're going to implement those budgets steadily. Social security system is the foundation for a secure livelihood. We are faced with declining population and a lower birth rate, and there are the lower generation, the generation that have experienced the very hard job-seeking conditions, and also the lower generations are also feeling a lot of concerns about the future, and we are trying to alleviate and eliminate the concerns about the security premium payment, and we are conducting the social security reform to alleviate the burden of our public. And we have set up a council with the LDP, Komi Party, and Japan Instauration Party, and we have conducted sufficient review and discussion during the budget formation process, and we are going to execute the measures in 2026 for an early realization. And we want people to feel enriched lives, and we need to raise the wages as soon as possible. So wage hike is the key for strategic growth strategy, and we need to realize wage hike that keep in pace with the inflations. So in the spring negotiation this year, in the first calculation of the aggregation of the Rengo, it has been exceeding the previous year at 5.46% of wage hike. And in the medium small size labor unions, it has been more than 5% of wage hike for the first time in 33 years. So that is up 0.67% to 5.09%. And in the second aggregation, it is 5.4% of wage hike. And in the medium and small size labor unions, the wage hike is going to be 4.92%. And we're going to use the supplementary budget to support productivity enhancement. And we are seeing good progress and outcomes of the government's initiatives and also the cooperation of the public and private sectors. This momentum needs to spread across the country. SMEs and the micro companies, we are going to support the wage hike in those organizations with powerful policies. For SMEs and the micro companies in local regions, it is important to have a smooth price pass-through in their contracts with the central government and the local municipalities. And we're going to make a new package by June and to execute effective utilization of low bidding price investigation system. And also, we need to improve the productivity of SMEs and micro companies, mainly in the service sector. And for the 12 businesses, including eating establishments and accommodations, and we are going to make a labor saving and investment promotion plan in May by different businesses aiming to improve productivity. And we will also dispatch experts to the front line of the SMEs and the micro companies to have a support system across the country. And in order to strengthen and bolster the management platform of the SMEs and the micro companies, we are going to make a new package about the business succession and M&A by June, and we are going to implement that powerfully. And we also have to deal with inflation while we are waiting for the effect of wage hike.
高騰に
In order to address high food prices and energy prices, we have already started to pay out the grant of 30,000 yen per low-income family and also 20,000 yen per child. That payout has already started. In each local government, there has been a response to inflation. There is the focused area local grants for 47 prefectures and also to 1,250 local governments. The first round grant payment decision was made. The measures have to be based on the inflation of energy and food, including rice. And we are going to give support based on the situation of regional areas, and we are going to give the support effectively to people in Japan. Because of the impact mitigation measures for gasoline, the retail price of the gasoline on the national average should be 185 yen or so, and the support will continue. For abolishing the provisional rate of the gasoline tax, in order to resolve the challenges, including securing the funding in a stable manner, for necessary legislation, we are accelerating, and we are aware that there will be acceleration of discussions among parties in sincere manner. The rice price is still at a high level. That is why the government decided to utilize rice reserve. The auction was conducted, and 140,000 tons equivalent of rice started to be delivered to organizations including Zenno. And last week, the second auction was conducted. Through stable supply of rice to consumers, we are hoping that the what is high rice price will be stable, and we continue to monitor the situation, and we take measures if necessary without hesitation. For so-called 1.03 million yen tax threshold or barrier. With the budget and tax law enactment for 2025, we decided to add the basic deduction targeting more than 80% of the taxpayers. Building on our original approach, targeting about 56 million people, there will be an income tax reduction from 20,000 yen to 40,000 yen per person. We continue to have discussions based on the situation of inflation, and we are going to discuss the deduction amount. And this is the year where we are starting support for child rearing. 120,000 child allowance has been expanded to the high school students, and from April, if both of the parents take the child caring leave, then the rate of the grant will be increased to 100% equivalent. At the maximum, 700,000 people will be receiving that. And if people choose the short-term working hours for child rearing, they will be receiving the grant equivalent to 10% of their wages. And we open up the future of the young generation in order to realize society that treasures human resources. We are taking the measures for free tuition for high schools. And we abolished the income requirement to offer 118.8 thousand. And the scope is 870,000. From FY 2025, about 3.3 million high school students will be in the scope. From 2026 and beyond, the support for private high school students should be expanded to 457,000 yen. And the economic and fiscal reform policy in 2025, the overall framework is presented, and we are going to flesh out the approach when we compile the budget for fiscal year 2026. For free school lunch, we will start the measures targeting elementary schools where there are 6 million students are going. And depending on the situation, we are going to take stimulus measures to address inflation. And we want young people and women to fully realize themselves. And nationwide, when young people are going to colleges and also specialty schools, and when they are attempting starting a startup businesses, we are going to utilize a career improvement grant of 100 billion yen, and we are supporting the measures so that more female will be doing full-time employment, and we promote the environment so that people can realize themselves, so that we can realize regional areas chosen by young people and female. There is a technological advancement, including Gen AI, and the contents of the jobs are changing. And if people are trying reskilling for new jobs, and we are supporting them with 100 billion yen. If people are taking a leave to be trained, and we are revising a system, including establishment of the grant for training, where we can give a grant to the certain percentage of the wages. And we are going to give meticulous support for people in different situations. So we are working on regional revitalization 2.0. It is different from 1.0. We are doing something new. So this is to really enhance the caring for regional areas, and we are promoting the Reiwa era remodeling of Japanese archipelago. We want young people and people to enjoy new encounter and insights, and we want to fully realize young people's dreams and potential. So we are creating regional areas chosen by young people and women. And for regional revitalization grant, we are adapting the new businesses of about 60 billion yen out of 100 billion yen, which is earmarked in a supplementary budget for 2024. And in 2025 budget, we have doubled the amount to 200 billion yen. We are going to implement that so the central government is supporting local government's efforts. Last month, I visited Fukushima and Nagano, where there are regional revitalization, and I myself felt the potential of the regional areas. So I have the renewed determination to promote vision for regional innovation and revitalization. In Fukushima, I visited R&D site of a robotic manufacturing company, and I was moved by passion of the business owners who are working on innovation creation. And there are other schools who have a strength in AI and robot technologies, and diverse stakeholders should work together so that there will be innovation in regional areas. We are supporting them in a strong manner. In the city of in Nagano Prefecture, there is the online the medical car and a drone is supporting shopping, and new technology is utilized, and that can really change the lives of people. We will be actively and effectively engaged with the efforts to improve the living environment in the regional area, utilizing digital and new technologies. In order to enhance the growth capability and earning power for the future, by fiscal year 2030, we are going to offer more than 10 trillion yen of public support for AI and semiconductors, so that there will be a public and private investment surpassing 50 trillion yen over the 10 years. What is important for future growth is advanced semiconductors and AI data center, and we will be powerfully supporting domestic investment. And in order to make it happen, in fiscal 2024, the supplementary budget and 2025 budget, 1.9 trillion yen support will be executed. In the past, we were called really the kingdom of semiconductors. Going forward, we are going to really attempt international or competition, being ahead of the curve for the new era. The employees in Kasumigaseki are really supporting the local government, and we are starting an escort-type support system for regional revitalization. Whether you are in Tokyo or regional areas or remotely, flexible support will be realized. There were only 2 weeks to take applications from around 200 local governments from Hokkaido to Okinawa. There were people who want to be joined. From a manager level to junior level, 250 people wanted to be part of this from a central government. And as a first round to 60 local governments, we are going to appoint people as an officer for supporting regional revitalization in a thorough manner and in a meticulous manner. we are providing escort type support to local governments. It is not done only by the ministries or agencies. Private sector companies should be part of this and enhance this kind of initiative. The circle of the people supporting the regional areas should be bigger and more powerful. So the people are really the treasures for us. We are fully utilizing technologies, including telework. So that is kind of the society we want to realize. Today is April 1st. On April 13th, finally, Expo in Osaka will be starting, and we appreciate your support. People from home and abroad are coming to the venue, and people in a wide age group will be coming. In 1970, I was the second year of the junior high school in Tottori, and for people in their 60s and 70s, I think you remember what happened during the Expo back then. So from elderly people to young people, and not only Japanese people, but people from the world will be coming to the venue, so that we can really open up the future of Japan, so that people can really find enjoyable Japan. And not only Yumeshima in Osaka, they can be motivated to go to Hokkaido, Okinawa, or even Hokuriku region. That kind of the momentum is I wholeheartedly expect. Once again, I appreciate your support in advance. Last month, there was an announcement made by the US regarding tariffs on cars and other goods. Japan is the biggest investment country or investor in the US. We continue to be engaged with the US so that we will be exempt from the tariffs. And we will be thoroughly assess potential impact on domestic industries and employment. And will be fully prepared if the measures by the US are in place. Then for the short-term measures, we are going to establish special consultation places in about 1,000 locations nationwide. So the small and medium-sized countries, companies, and people with the very small businesses, they may be having concerns, and this consultation center will address such concerns. And if there are impact on the business activities, we will be taking the measures to support funding and financing. Productivity improvement can enhance competitive edge, and new businesses can be started. And we are supporting those measures to increase the sales. The government is going to visit related plants and companies, and we are starting this so-called Mikata project to support them with the management and talk about the support measures. It means that the government is on the side of the businesses. We support them. We are taking these nationwide measures to accelerate the supports. And we are making a coordination with the ruling parties about more details about how we handle these additional tariffs announced by the US. So, we are effectively utilizing a budget for fiscal 2025. We will be facing the challenges of the people in Japan, and we are taking flexible measures in a seamless manner depending on the social and economic trend, including inflation. We appreciate understanding and support from people in Japan.
Now we will take questions from the reporters, and when you are appointed, please go to the nearest microphone, and please keep your question to one. Thank you for your cooperation. We will take the questions from the coordinators first. Hiramoto-san from Nippon TV. Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. This is Hiramoto with Nippon TV. So the budget has passed, but we have piled challenges at home and abroad. As you said in the opening remarks, that you are going to strike out strong, powerful measures to tackle price inflations and to keep the gasoline prices at 185 yen, and also the rice prices and measures. And what is your idea on the consumption tax reduction for food? Could you elaborate on that? And for the Trump tariff, it will be effective in 2 days. And you have talked about the financing support for businesses, and you also said that you're going to continue to urge the Trump administration to exempt Japan. And are you going to directly negotiate with the Trump administration? On the consumption tax reduction on food, your question is about whether there's a possibility for that. And I have stated my opinions at the diet as well. The consumption tax. This is a very important income source to support the security system covering all generations. And this is used for the payment of the Social Security. And when it is reduced, what is going to happen? And there are some examples in other countries. And in some G7 countries who did that, they reduced the consumption tax in some goods, and in Japan, our consumption tax rate is 10%. But in those countries, they have higher consumption tax, like the UK is 20%, France 20%, and Germany is 20%, and Italy 22%. We have to consider that as well in taking any measures on consumption tax. So reducing the consumption tax rate is not appropriate, I think. And when we compare to other countries, our consumption tax rate needs to be considered. And it is all being used for paying the Social Security fees. And that's something that we need to consider as a government. The U.S. tariff measures, how we are going to tackle with that is another question. And around 24 hours, weekends, working all the time, and the government is working very hard as a whole. And the Medi Minister, Mr. Muto, the Medi Ministry, and also the MOFA, all the relevant ministries are working on this issue. And we're negotiating with the counterparts in the U.S. If necessary, I'm prepared to go by myself. But first of all, the person in charge will negotiate step by step. And when we have a more holistic picture, and when it is deemed appropriate, I will not hesitate to negotiate directly.
Next, we take a question from Mr. Kaya from Yomiuri. Thank you. So you mentioned that this diet, the budget discussion gave the due consideration, but during that time, the approval rating came down, and within the party, there is the opinion questioning capability to run the government. What is your analysis of this declining support, and what is needed to restore the support? And you are leading minority ruling party, so it means that you have to dissolve the lower house or recomposition of the coalition. So are you considering having elections of both lower house and upper house on the same day, or are you asking for the coalition from some opposition parties? It is my responsibility about this decline in supporting. Based on the lesson, we are going to make efforts to restore support. I have no intention to blame anybody, so we have to really take the fact in a sincere and humble manner. And the recomposition of the coalition or the lower house and upper house elections on the same day, we are not thinking about it at all. We are a minority ruling party, but we were able to really pass the budget. It's not everything, but a number of people made efforts. Within the fiscal year, the budget was passed. And based on this situation, with the fresh mind, in a humble manner, we are going to make utmost effort. That's all I can say.
幹事社以外
We will take one or two questions from media outlets other than coordinators, and please ask your question concisely. Nikkei newspaper, please. Mickey with Nikkei newspaper, thank you. About the regional revitalization, I have a question. In your opening remarks, you also mentioned with the passage of the budget, you are focusing a lot on regional revitalization, also using the budget. So GXAI has semiconductors. You talked about the investments in those areas. And looking at the current international situation, in order to increase the global competitive edge of Japan, I think it is very important to have a combination of those technologies. And what is going to be your posture to address those issues? And what is your first priority, first focus in the regional revitalization? AI, semiconductors, the investments in those areas, and the investment in GX, and what be cooperation are the core. So regional revitalization, there are many regional areas other than Tokyo. The agriculture, fisheries, forestries, and also a lot of other industries. The regional areas has great potential. Again, AI and semiconductors investment and investment in GX, and what be the linkage or cooperation needs to be all combined together to pull out the potential of the regional areas to the maximum. And I also talked about the escort type of support for regional revitalization. There are many people who actually want to go to regional areas. And as I said, we are going to provide various types of concrete measures to support that at an early stage.
TBC テレビ
I'm going to take the last question from Mr. Yokochi from CBC. I'm Yokochi from CBC. You mentioned disaster management agency during your opening remarks. Things like private-public support and wide range or wide region, the collaboration. What is your measures you are taking? There was Noto Peninsula earthquake, and there was torrential rain. There was a regional factor. It was peninsula. There were some support given, and a review meeting put together Nankai Trough mega earthquake potential impact with the more than 3 meter tsunami and a lower 6 seismic intensity. 30% of Japan will be subject to such impact. It means that there have to be more collaboration as the commanding function of the disaster management. What will be the approach you are taking with the start of disaster management agency from Hokkaido to Kyushu Island to Okinawa? Whatever the disaster is and whatever it happens, the consistent response has to be done. There are some regionally challenging area, or from a financing perspective, the support is smaller. We should not see that whatever the disaster happens, the damage has to be minimized. I talked about the wildfire in Ofunato, and there is a reserve or stockpiling in local governments, and also there were volunteer members. So it should not be short-term or unplanned. It has to be planned and systematic. In that kind of environment or system has to be established. It's called TKB, the container type toilet, kitchen vehicle, and tent in Italy or in Taiwan. Within the 48 hours, in a very short period of time, response can be given. Why is it possible? It's because there are preparation on a daily basis, and it's systematic. If something happens, and they know that how or what people should be dispatched. And you mentioned that the commanding function, that is type of the function the disaster management agency is going to play. Yes, there have to be some prediction and prevention. Yes, I'm aware that there was some description in relation with the Nankai trough. So evacuation has to be complete in a short period of time so that we can minimize the impact. So that it's not that we take measures on that day, we have to be prepared. So that is what the agency is going to play. Because of the later appointment, we have to conclude the conference. If you are raising a hand, you can ask your question by document, and our responsible teams will be getting back to you. This concludes today's press conference. Thank you.